Okay, welcome. This is the Premier Chess Winter 2021 Adult Rookie class. I believe this is week 9, 8 or 9, one of those. And we're going to be discussing forks, specifically knight forks. All right, sorry, go ahead, Leonard. What's the fork? How would you define it?
Fork is where, say, one of your pieces is attacking two of your opponents simultaneously, in such that your opponent will have to basically give up one of them to save the other.
Right. So yeah, so simultaneous attack of two pieces. And which pieces can deliver forks? We're going to be talking about knight forks, but which pieces can deliver forks in chess? What do you think?
Probably, I would think bishop,
Knights, bishops. Okay. What else?
queen.
Queen. What else?
I would think of rook in the right situation.
Yep. Rook. What else?
Pawn.
A knight, bishop, queen, rook, pawn. Yeah. And one more.
I imagine the king too.
And the king can also, all the pieces can deliver forks, all the pieces. So yeah, so this is just talking about knight forks, right?
Yeah.
All right, so what do you think best move is here? White to play, what do you think?
Knight e5.
Good, knight e5, attacking king and rook, right? Forking king and rook, also check, so very nice, good. All right, let's go on to the next one. So what do you think here? Now this is black to play. What do you think, black to play?
Knight g3 or knight a g3. Yeah.
Knight g3 here?
Yeah.
Yeah, can the pawn take the knight?
Oh yeah.
What do you think? Can the pawn take?
No, it can't.
Why?
Pinned.
Yeah, good. The queen is pinning the pawn to the king. So knight g3 delivers a triple fork, right?
Yeah.
Also, it's attacking the king and the queen. Therefore, we can call that a royal fork. Okay, that's a very special name there, royal fork. Okay. All right, so let's go on to the next position. Hold on. Hold on. What's going on here? All right. So what do you think about this one?
Black to move.
Yeah, black to move. Yeah, black to move. What's the best move here? The topic of forks.
Knight d5.
Knight e5 check. Knight e4 actually. Knight e4.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Knight e4. Can the pawn take?
No.
Pawn is pinned by the rook, right?
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. So the king moves here. You take the queen, and very good. All right, next one. All right, so this one. Okay, so now the pawns are one square away from promotion. So what would you say the best move is here?
Pawn c8.
Okay, c8, and what are you going to get?
Knight.
Ah, very nice. Yeah, under promotion. Yeah. So if we got a queen, then why would that be a bad move? It's not letting me.
It wouldn't be attacking either black piece for one.
Wait, one moment. All right, so if we got a queen, what's the best move here for black? What's the best move?
Queen d5. F6.
Queen C6.
D6.
E6. Check.
Oh,
D6 here.
yeah.
So queen D6. The king just comes here. No, there's a stronger move than that. What do you think? Stronger move than that? No. Hold on. So if we got a queen, what's the best move? Black's got a pretty strong move here. What do you think?
Queen A7.
And what's that?
Checkmate.
Checkmate. Yes, queen A7, right? So
Yeah. Now I realize that the kings are in opposition.
right.
Yeah.
Right. And the key is that whenever opponent is promoted, most beginners get a queen automatically, right? Without thinking.
Yeah.
The queen is the most powerful piece, so I'm going to get a queen. But very rarely is it better to promote to a different piece.
Right.
There are situations, and do you know what that's called when you promote to something other than a queen? There's a name.
Well, they call it under promotion.
There you go. Yeah, under promotion. Yeah. So, and this is one of the cases where under promotion is called for. Same thing. If we do A8 equals queen, best move for black is what?
Should be the same thing. Queen to C7.
Yeah, queen takes C7 is mate again, right? So again, so best move here would be promoting to a knight, delivering a beautiful royal fork. Doesn't matter where he goes, and then queen is promoted and easy win from there, right?
Yeah.
Very good. So yeah, never automatically get a queen, right? Always have to scan the board and figure out if a queen really is the best piece. All right.
Right.
Good. Okay. All right. So this one. This is white to move. What do you think is the best move for white here?
I'd want to move the pawn to D7.
Yeah, so this one's a little bit tricky. The knight fork's not so obvious. So D7, threatening to promote, right? The bishop cannot save or cannot prevent the pawn from promotion. The only move that black can do is what?
Move the king to be C7.
Very good. King C7. And then, all right, so I'll move the piece so you can see. D7, King C7. Now, what is the best move here? Remember, the theme is knight forks. So how do we do a knight fork from here? How do we set up a knight fork? What do you think?
Well, I'm trying to protect that pawn on d7.
Was there any way to protect the pawn? What do you think?
Well, let's see. Well, knight b5 and knight e.
Knight b5 check. King takes the pawn. Okay, what else?
Knight e6 attacks the king, but again, the king can take the pawn.
Okay, so knight e6 attacks the king, check. Also threatens to promote the pawn because it controls d8, right?
Right.
So the king is forced to capture. So now what do we do?
Oh, knight f8.
Yeah, knight f8. Beautiful fork here. And then after black moves his king, white brings his knight around and
Right.
is easily winning here, right? So
Yeah.
very nice. So the pawn was basically used as a decoy
Uh,
to decoy the king onto the
uh-huh.
7 square where we would deliver the knight fork,
Yeah.
right? So very nice. Okay. Okay, let's look at this one. What do you think? Best move here?
White to move.
Oh yeah, sorry, white to move. Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. Knight e6.
Knight e6. Okay, attacks the queen. Queen can maybe come over here, and he's safe. So he needs something a little bit stronger than that. What do you think?
Oh, knight a6.
Yeah, knight a6. What's the difference? Knight a6 is check.
Check.
Attacking the queen. Fork. Now, can the pawn take the knight?
No.
Yeah, pinned by the queen, right? So beautiful use of a pin, delivering a very nice royal fork, right? Very nice.
Yeah.
Good job. Okay, good. Okay, next. All right, this one is a knight fork. This is a combination. This one's a little tricky. But it's also a knight fork. So, what do you think is the first move here? What do you think?
Pawn e8.
Okay, so push the pawn, and the rook just captures, right? So yeah, we can also take the rook, but the knight just captures, and there's no real threats of a fork here. So it's not a pawn move, the first move. So remember, when you always look at these puzzles, first move you always look for is what? What kind of moves?
Move that attacks or tries to check the king.
Right, checks are the most powerful, the strongest type of move. So we always look for checks first. So how many different ways can we check the king? So we promote to a queen, that's one check, but we said that's not the strongest move here. So what's another check we can do?
Knight h6.
So knight h6 is a check, yeah. So let's look at this. So knight h6, g takes h6. And now, what do you think? What's a strong move here? What do you think?
Queen G3.
Okay, Queen G3, and then maybe just king over here, and no knight fork here. So look for checks, right? Look for all checks. So that's a check. Also, Queen G6 is a check. Again, you just lose your queen for no reason.
Yeah.
What else is another check? There's one more check.
Pawn.
Oh, right,
F,
right. Take
F8.
that's another check, yeah. But then knight just takes back, and no more knight forks, right? So
Yeah.
what else is another check? So we got 1, 2, 3, and one more check.
Queen H7.
Right, Queen H7 is definitely a check, right? That is a very forceful check because now we're forcing the king to take our queen. So now what can we do?
Oh, pawn takes rook on F8.
And then what?
The pronoun to a knight.
Yeah, knight. You see it now?
Yeah.
So that's a very nice use of like a clearance sacrifice, deflective
Yeah.
sacrifice, and then under promotion to a knight, resulting in a royal fork. So yeah. And now white is a rook up and will easily win the game. So let's look at that again. So yeah, so we want to clear this diagonal for the queen, right? So we take on h6 with check, right? Forcing the take. Actually, it doesn't even matter if he doesn't take. Even if he doesn't take, he can go to king h8. Same, it'll work out to be the same thing.
Right.
Right. Oh, not that.
Yeah.
Knight. It'll work out to be the same thing, right? So yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, he might as well take the knight. And yeah. And so that's clearance sacrifice. This is a deflective sacrifice, decoying the king onto the h7 square. Pawn takes a rook under promoting to a knight, and then capture the queen, royal fork, and yeah, very nice. All right. So let's look at some examples from games. Let's see here. Okay, so here it's white to move. What do you think is the best move for white here? What do you think? What would you say?
Knight B7.
Knight to where?
B,
Oh, b7 check.
B7.
Okay, knight b7 check. Maybe king c7, and now there's no fork that I can see. So there's a stronger move than that. What do you think? Stronger move than that.
I was thinking rook to C1.
Rook to c1. Okay, so you're taking control of the c file, which is good, but in this case, not strong enough. So we want a stronger move than that. So okay, so let's look at, and we look at a puzzle. First types of move we look for is what?
Check.
Checks, right? So we said knight b7 check, king c7
Yeah.
doesn't really do much. Okay, what's another check? Give me another check.
C6.
Knight c6 check, knight takes c6. We just lose our knight for nothing, basically.
Yeah.
So then, okay, so now we go on to the next type of forceful move is what? So the first is checks, and the second type is
an attack on your enemy's piece.
Attack, or even stronger is captures.
Oh,
Right, captures. So
yeah.
here, where can we make a capture?
Rook D4.
Right. Rook takes D4. Now let's look at that. Rook takes D4. Rook takes D4, and now what do you think best move here? Now you see
Knight
it?
C6. Yeah.
Knight C6, yes. So basically the knight was protecting the C6 square.
Right.
We eliminate it and we lure the rook, decoy the rook onto the D4 square, deliver a nice check. King D7, knight takes D4, and now white emerges a piece ahead and should win with ease, right? Good. All right, good job. Okay, next, let's see here. So what do you think is the best move for white here? What do you think? Best move for white.
Queen F7.
All right, let me see here. Queen F7.
Oh, F8. I'm sorry.
Oh, take the rook. Okay, take the rook. So, okay, so we take the rook, king takes, and now where's the
wait
follow?
a minute. Forgot about that bishop.
Yeah, bishop is controlling
Yeah.
e6, right? So let's go back. So what else? What do you think?
Uh,
So let's go down the list, right? So first
yeah.
move we look for is checks, right? Which so you correctly consider this first, right? So that's a check,
Yeah.
although it doesn't work because the bishop is protecting e6. So then we look
Yeah.
at what? Second type of move is what?
Capture.
Captures. So how many captures can we do, right? So this is one capture. What else can we do?
Bishop can capture on F5.
Okay, bishop capture on f5. Maybe bishop just takes back and not much has happened.
Now
Right?
you got 3 pieces covering that square.
Actually, yeah, and actually that's a check, so that's even
4
worse.
pieces. Yeah. Oh, it's right. Yeah.
So that's no good. So yeah. So that's a good point that you said. So there's 5 pieces covering this square, which means that it's not a forceful move, right? A forceful
No.
move would leave your opponent with very little options.
Yeah.
Right? This has 5 different options, so not so forceful of a move. All right. So what was another capture you can do? What do you think?
Well, knight to F5.
So knight f5 similar.
Similar, but
Yeah, similar. Again, we got 4 different options,
yeah,
5 different options, right? So So we need a stronger move than that. What do you think? So the F5 pawn is 1 point of capture. Also, the queen can capture the pawns, but that doesn't look like a good move either, right?
Yeah.
Now you can capture here, not necessarily a strong move. Okay, what other captures do we have? We have one more you didn't consider yet.
Queen A7.
Okay, that's another one. Again, rook takes and not much
Takes.
good for white here. So there's one more capture. One more you didn't consider.
Rook H4.
Yeah, rook H4. Very good. So rook H4, how many different possible responses does black have to that?
Just one.
Just one. Yeah, the queen, and the queen doesn't have to take, of course, but if the queen doesn't take, then white is just up an extra piece.
Yeah.
So that's good. So might as well take. So now we see the pattern, right? Now the queen and the rook are lined up, right? Now we go for the sacrifice, the deflective sacrifice on f8, right? King takes, knight goes to g6, beautiful royal fork, right? You see that now?
Yeah.
Very good, very good. So let's go back. So yeah. So the rook sacrifice in h4 was to lure the queen onto the h4 square.
Right.
Now we do the deflective sacrifice to lure the king onto the f8 square, and both of them are in perfect line for a royal fork. Very nice. Okay, good job. Okay, let's go on. Let's go on. Am I going too fast, or is it good?
No.
Good speed. Okay. Let me ask you.
I'm having a little hard time seeing that far ahead.
Oh, okay, it's okay. Yeah, you just got to look at forceful moves. Always consider forceful moves the first way. Okay. Yeah. Also, I wanted to ask you for this class, is it always just you, or because I noticed there's
no, it was the last couple of weeks. I guess Evan's been busy with other things, so and it's just unfortunate that I'm happen to be the only one, because originally there was like 5 or 6 people in the class. And even the first day of class, I think there was only maybe 4 for the first few weeks. And then I missed one class. I think that was Super Bowl Sunday.
Okay.
And then from that point on, Evan hasn't been available, and I've been the only one.
Oh,
and
the
I'm
other.
wondering if there's another. I don't know if there's any other rookie classes, but I mean, I'd be even okay with the beginner class, because I don't want to, I figure it might be better if I went to another class, so that just because I don't know if anybody else is coming back.
Right. Yeah. Maybe you should ask Evan that. Yeah, because there's a beginner class. So yeah. You should email Evan about that.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, just curious. So okay. So here, this is white to move, and yeah. What do you think the strongest move here for white on the theme of forks? What do you think? So the first type of move we look for is what?
Check.
Yeah.
I don't see any. Well, I just see one check, but it's gonna queen will get recaptured by the pawn on f7.
Wait, which check do you see?
Queen g6.
G. Oh, sorry. This is black to move. Sorry.
Oh, black to move.
Yeah, my fault. Black.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Black to move. What do you think?
Um, Queen h1.
Good. Queen h1 check. Forces. Let's see if you can visualize it before I move the piece. Queen h1 check. Forces bishop h2. And now, what do you think is the best move there before I move the piece? Can you visualize it?
Knight f4.
Yeah. And can the bishop capture the knight?
No.
Yeah, it's pinned. Very good. Queen h1 forces bishop h2. The pin is now available, or now is present. So knight f4 is allowed. King g3. Knight takes. And yeah, now you win the queen. So yeah, very nice use of a pin to, yeah, because a lot of students, they look at this and they think, oh, knight fork right here.
Yeah.
But the bishop is not pinned, right? So very important to insert this check first, and then no, not that. And then we go queen, knight f4 check, right?
Yeah.
All right, good job. All right, good. Let's go on to the next one. So here, so this is an example of this is not a knight fork. So yeah, so this is an example of something that's not a knight fork. So what do you think? Best move here.
White move.
Oh, sorry, black to move. Yeah, black to move here. Yeah. Yeah.
Pawn f4.
Okay, so pawn f4 is a fork, but it's not strong enough because the bishop can just take. But actually, that's going to play a role in this combination, right? So before we do that, remember, we always look for what? What do we look for first?
Check.
Checks, right. So look at all the checks first.
Queen a1.
Right, queen a1. Okay, queen a1 check, king h2. Okay, so now the problem is there's no follow-up for queen a1 because this diagonal is blocked, and she can only come back here, and moving along here doesn't really do anything. So yeah, not queen a1. So what's another check? There's one more check here. What do you think?
I'm thinking queen b1.
Yeah, queen b1. Yeah, definitely. Queen b1 check. Now, what's the difference? There's a big difference, right? Now the queen has access to this diagonal, right? So now we insert this little move here, f4, forking forking bishop and queen. So the bishop is forced to take. So now, what is the winning move here? What do you think? The winning fork.
This is not a knight fork, right?
Yep, this is not a knight fork. This is an example of a different fork. Want me to give you a hint? What do you think?
Yeah.
So you got no more checks. So now, so let's look at captures, right? So that's the other thing you look for, right? So we can
Yeah.
capture the b2 pawn, but the rook just captures back. Nothing special. We can capture the knight, the bishop, queen just takes back. Nothing special. Nothing really happens there. So now we look at threats. That's the third thing we look at. We need to threaten.
Right.
We need to threaten some pieces here. All right. What do you think?
Well, bishop h4.
Yeah, bishop h4 does threaten the queen. Maybe he just comes back to e3. You know, it's not that strong of a move.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I need a stronger move than that. So what do you think?
Queen e4.
Yeah, queen e4. So let's look at this move. So now we are attacking two pieces. So now one thing you have to keep in mind when you do look at these puzzles is that when you see an unprotected piece, like this knight is an unprotected piece all the way
Yeah.
out here far away from the white army, that most likely will play a role in the puzzle, right? So this unprotected knight is very important because queen e4 attacks the b7 knight at the same time as putting additional pressure and threatening to win the f4 bishop, right? So you can say that this is a nice fork, right? So this is the winning move. There's no way for white to save both pieces, right? So yeah, so that's it, right? Yeah, so it's a little bit different, a little bit different type of fork there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, good. Okay, next. Okay, so this is an interesting little exercise right here. So now this pawn is one square away from promotion. This pawn is one square away as well. So this is how this game goes. So knight a5 check. So the rook is under attack, but white delivers this nice check, forking the king, protecting his rook, right? Then we have king a7, rook c7, check. King a8, rook c8, check. King a7, rook takes f8. H1 queen. And now we have rook b8, right? And of course, the rook cannot be captured because then the pawn promotes becoming a queen. So he delivers a little check here. Queen d5 check, forking the king and the pawn, and the knight also, but more importantly the pawn, right?
Pawn.
So king b2, queen takes f7. So now black is very happy with himself, right? He's got a queen against a rook and a knight, so he's like, okay, so I'm doing good. So rook b7 check, king a8, and now what is the killer move? White has a killer move here. Do you see it? What do you think?
Oops. I lost my screen. Oh, there it is. Okay. Knight c6. No. Can you hear me?
Oh, sorry, my fault. I was on mute. Yeah, so can
Okay.
you explain to me why that's a killer move? What do you think? Knight c6 is the correct. What do you think?
Well, I figure, that's the pawn's not going to attack the knight because the rook is pinned the
Yeah, so
queen.
take the queen. Good. So the pawn cannot take the knight. So what is white threatening here?
Actually, mate.
Where? Mate where?
If knight to d8 would, and then would check, make it a queen, it would check the king, and the king has, oh, wait a minute. No.
So yeah, so white has a mate here. Where? You see it?
Oh, rook b8.
Good. Rook b8 is one mate. And there's one more mate. Can you see it? One more.
Rook a7.
Very good. Rook a7. So threatening mate on b8 and a7. Now, we already said the pawn cannot take the knight because the queen will be lost. What if the king takes the rook? What now?
Knight to d8.
Very good. Knight d8 delivers a beautiful royal fork. Very nice, right? Good. So yeah, and if the queen were to try to stop the mate, let's say queen tries to stop the mate on b8, mate occurs on a7, right? So queen tries to stop the mate on a7, occurs on b8. So there's no way that black can stop the mate. The knight is immune and the rook is immune. So knight c6 is a very, very powerful move in this position, right? Very good. All right. Good job. All right. Thought that was pretty beautiful, right? What do you think?
Yeah.
All right, so let's look at this one. So this is white to move. What do you think is the best move for white here? What would you say?
Knight D6.
Knight D6. Check. And then the knight, the queen can take. Yeah, there's a strong
Rook.
move in that. Strong
Okay.
move in that. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think?
Rook B7.
Rook B7. So what's the idea with Rook B7?
It forces force the queen to, I don't know if it forces it, but the queen capture the rook,
Good. And then what?
and then knight D6.
Good. Yeah. Royal fork, right? So this would be called a what? Deflective sacrifice, right? So we're decoying the queen onto the B7 square, where it is set to be subject to a royal fork. Knight D6 check. Very good. Okay, good job there. Good job. All right, so what about this one? What would you say?
White to move.
Yeah, white to
Yes.
move here. White to move.
Uh,
What do you think? Any idea? What do you think? So I'll give you a hint. This is on the theme of knight forks.
knight fork.
Knight forks.
Rook H8.
Okay, rook takes h8. Again, yeah, good. It's a check, and it's also a very forceful move, right?
Mhm.
So the king only has two options: take the rook or king g7. If he goes king g7, we have rook takes. If he goes king g7, we have rook takes a8. We win the bishop and the rook, right? So
Mhm.
might as well take the rook. And now what can white do?
Knight to F7.
Knight to F7, yeah, beautiful royal fork. So capture the rook and royal fork, right? Very nice. And king moves up, capture. And now white is definitely winning by basically an extra queen. Yeah. All right, good job, good job. All right, let's do a few more. We're almost done. All right, is this okay? So what do you think here? This is white to move. Best move for white here.
I was thinking of, let's see. No. Uh, oh, hmm.
What do you think?
Well, I want to move one knight to D6, but that bishop is.
So knight d6, yeah, forks king and queen. Bishop is protecting. Also, if you notice, this knight is attacking the queen. However, it cannot capture. Why?
Pinned.
Pinned by the bishop, right? So the question is, how do we get rid of this bishop?
Yeah.
How do we do that? That's the question. If the bishop leaves the diagonal, the a5 to e1 diagonal, then we can capture the queen, right? So how do we force the bishop to do that?
Say again.
How do we force the bishop to leave this a5 to e1 diagonal, right? What do you think?
We could sacrifice the rook on A8 to A3.
Okay, so rook a3, but the bishop
That's,
is not
yeah,
forced to take it, right?
no.
So there's a much more forcing move, and so think about this. The most forceful move is what?
Check.
Check. So look at the checks. How many checks do we have against the black king?
Um, I don't see any.
Yeah, we have one. There's
One check.
Yep, one check against the black king we can do. You actually mentioned it.
I did.
Yeah, you mentioned it.
Uh-oh.
Uh, it's
Uh,
one of the first moves you mentioned.
hmm. Oh, Knight d6.
Knight d6, yes, knight d6 check, forks king and queen. So if he doesn't want to lose his queen, he's forced to take the knight,
Uh,
after which we can do what?
um, oh, take the queen with the knight.
Take the queen. There you go. That's the answer, yeah.
Yeah.
So that was an example of a deflective sacrifice, where deflecting the bishop, right, away from the diagonal. Knight is no longer pinned, and the queen is lost, right? Very nice. See that? Nice little combination.
Yeah.
All right, so that's the that's the lecture on forks. So what do you think?
I liked it.
Hope you learned something there.
Yeah.
You should know.
It's funny.
Uh-huh.
I like the knights of of the minor pieces. I kind of like the knights because of what they're capable of doing.
Yeah, knights are very unique. You know, they can jump over pieces. They have a very unique way of moving. And so whenever you see knights on the board, you know, there's always forks all the time, everywhere, right? So just
Yeah.
gotta find them. That's,
Yeah.
they're always there. So yeah, especially if you see a puzzle with knights, always consider knight forks. It's
Yeah.
likely part of the solution. So yeah. Yeah, any other questions or observations or?
No, I mean, I'll email Evan about this class. If there's nobody else that's
Yeah, I
going
mean,
to
it's fine.
attend it,
Yeah, it's fine if you stay, but yeah, I was just wondering. I was curious if
yeah.
other people, because I know I did see on the list there's like 3 other people. I know one of them, Roy Stillman, he moved to the beginner class,
Uh-huh.
but I think there's 3 more that are still on the rookie list.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was just curious. Yeah,
I mean, I know his time's valuable, your time's valuable, and I don't, I know lessons with, one-on-one are not cheap.
uh-huh. Yeah.
But
Yeah, yeah, I was just curious. So yeah, so let him know. And yeah.
yeah.
All right. So good seeing you, Leonard. So
Yeah.
hope you have a splendid night.
You too.
All right. Take care.
Thank you.
No problem. Yeah, bye-bye.
All right.